Before we get too far, something important to say. We've got to stop saying that he's 4-6. He doesn't even have 4. The bubble ring, I absolutely do not count. What an embarrassing joke. What an embarrassing joke. 2016 was bullshit. His first championship, 2012, quite a few people have done footage breakdowns of the egregious reffing. And the other one, his teammates were more important than him, particularly Ray Allen. So there you go. LeBron James is 1-9, and the one that he has was not about him. With that in mind, part 2 of terminology, people stop calling 2020 a championship. It is not a championship. It was some weird experimental invitational that some people declined the invitation to. Let's be clear who the real hero of 2020 is for LeBron James, and that is COVID-19. It's not even Anthony Davis. It is COVID-19, which allowed all these weird set of circumstances to be set down perfectly for LeBron James to get a fake-ass ring that nobody watched, no one was interested in, and only LeBron fans take seriously. I used to say that Anthony Davis is the one who didn't get enough respect for what he did in 2020 for the Lakers. No, I'm changing that. It was a virus. The virus was definitely the most important player. As if all of that wasn't enough, the shortened season, setting things up so that Anthony Davis could actually be healthy, for teams not taking it seriously, some players sitting it out. In addition to that, the opponent that they faced, Miami Heat miracle team to even get there, was then depleted of most of their best players. It wasn't respectable even if you take away the special circumstances of the bubble. It wasn't, yay, good job. Way to beat up on a depleted team that was already questionable. Anyway, the point of that rant right there is that was LeBron's crowning achievement. That joke, that anomaly, that BS that I just described was the crowning achievement. And that wasn't even an achievement. That should not be hanging up. That should not be hanging next to the real championships. Look at the Lakers season before with LeBron. Shit. Look at the season right after. Shit. And a championship right in between that. That's not, it doesn't say everything, because every now and then a championship team suddenly falls off, but it's not good. It is not evidence in your favor, that's for sure. Okay, maybe you don't feel as strongly as I do about the illegitimacy of the bubble cup, but the harsh truth is a lot of people do. I mean, a huge amount of the population considers it either completely illegitimate or at least an asterisk. So that's your crowning achievement, and it's embarrassing. Now, that would be bad enough if it came at a bargain, but it came at a great cost. It was very expensive, and not only was LeBron James himself expensive, but the guy who actually got you that fake ring, Anthony Davis, was expensive as well. Oh, and you had to go through unethical means to get Anthony Davis there. Now, a lot of these paid pundits are repeating the same line over and over on all of these different shows that, LeBron rescued the Lakers. The Lakers, as Ramona Shelburne said in a video that I watched this morning, the Lakers are in the wilderness. Yeah, they went through a dark period of time, as do a lot of teams during a rebuilding process. They had actually amassed an incredible pool of young talent. Now, think about that talent, and then think about the money that was spent on LeBron James, and spending that money on somebody else, and going out and getting another star center. In fact, let's say you get to play by the same rules that LeBron does, which means to cheat. Anthony Davis was a clutch client. Rich Paul and Anthony Davis engaged in behavior that is against NBA guidelines. They were, in fact, fined for it. Rich Paul publicly announced multiple times Anthony Davis's trade demand, which is a violation of the collective bargaining agreement. LeBron and Rich wanted Anthony Davis on the Lakers, so the Lakers got Anthony Davis. That's how it works for LeBron James. What's a fine? What's a fine to these guys? Hey, it's our plan. Go ahead and fine us if you're not going to stop us from doing what we're not supposed to do, and all you're going to do is fine us. Let's go ahead and do it. And yet you don't hear about other teams doing it. It's always when it's LeBron James that these rules get broken. So again, let's pretend that you get to break the rules in order to bring someone else over and not waste the money on LeBron James. Imagine not spending the money that was spent on Russell Westbrook. Love Westbrook? Not the right choice. But a lot of money, and that was LeBron's fault. Regardless of how you feel about Westbrook, the bottom line is that's money that you have to use getting someone else to continue to build your franchise. Pelinka pulled off some miracle moves, saved LeBron from himself. Zero thanks from LeBron James. Then comes wasting money on JJ Redick. Again, something that LeBron James wanted. And in addition, wasting money on Bronny James. Both things in the same year caused by LeBron James. JJ Redick, a coach who in his first season was gentleman swept in the first round and was swept in the second season of his coaching time. This, of course, also means that it's on LeBron James's resume in his time in LA. A sweep and a gentleman sweep just in the last 2 years. But let's keep looking. The 2 seasons before that, also a gentleman sweep and a sweep. Dude, this is not a good resume. Sweeps and gentleman sweeps are pretty high on the list of embarrassing things that can be done to you as an NBA player. It's happened 4 times while LeBron James was in LA. The other times that it didn't happen to him, he wasn't even making the playoffs or the bubble chip. It makes it extra hard to stomach listening to JJ Redick complain about how good the Thunder roster was when Mitchell was in the same draft class as Bronny. Same draft class as Dalton Connect, except that Dalton was drafted 17th overall, Mitchell 37th overall. JJ, how's that development of Dalton Connect going? With him sitting on the bench and you guys trying to trade him. How's that development going? Gee, I wonder why it's not going as well as it went with Mitchell in Oklahoma. The Dalton Connect and Mitchell comparison would be a good enough point, but you've also got the wasted draft pick used on Bronny James, another $8 million spent by the Lakers, and Bronny James is being given more playing time than Dalton Connect. Gee, I wonder why Dalton, your draft pick, didn't turn out as good as the Thunder's 37th overall draft pick. Who else do they have? Well, I've always liked Rui Hachimura. I liked him from day one getting to the Lakers as a player. However, in that Game 4 against the Thunder, I was screaming at him because he was playing too well and I wanted the Lakers to lose. His effort was wasted because of LeBron James. Former Defensive Player of the Year Marcus Smart has been balling out for the Lakers. Current number 1 3-point shooter in the league, Kennard, just shows up on the Lakers roster. That's all. Oh, yes. And of course, they're... Oh, man, the Lakers are so ridiculous. I almost forgot to mention a trade that still no one understands. A move so weird that everyone thinks it was corrupt. Suddenly, Luka Doncic is on the Lakers. And it's still labeled as not enough help for LeBron James. Yes, we all know that he got hurt in the playoffs, or maybe he's faking it, because that's how shitty of a teammate LeBron James is. If I'm not mistaken, LeBron James is still the highest paid player on the Lakers, or he was at the season's end. And he's not delivering for you. And if that's the guy you're giving that kind of money to, it's probably not going to work out that great for your franchise. That's wasted money. And while I've already said it, I'm going to say it again to combat Nick Wright, who wants to say, well, look what Giannis did. He brought 1 chip. Look what Jokic did. He brought 1 chip. They're both the best players on their team. Okay? LeBron James has not been the best player on the Lakers. And if you think he is, you're just repeating what ESPN is telling you. This may have to be moved to another video due to the length of time, but couldn't help but notice that once again, even in defeat, LeBron James couldn't help but find a way to compliment himself and talk about how he adjusted and how he took a back seat when it was needed, and then, when called upon, led the team. You didn't lead shit, dude. You led them to a sweep. That's not leading. And I've asked Pineapple Midrange to collaborate with me on this next part, getting the data. But my gut feeling is that LeBron James didn't even change his behavior while he's sitting there bragging about changing for the team and doing what the team needs and adapting and taking a back seat. He was still chucking up shots. He kept on chucking up shots. He kept doing the exact same thing on offense. He kept not playing defense. This fourth game of the series against the Thunder was definitely the Lakers' best game. It was the closest game. And LeBron James came in third in scoring. But he didn't take a back seat. This dude's talking about leading the team. You were third in scoring despite trying. You took 18 shots. That's the most shot attempts on the team. You were also gifted 8 free throws. You managed to make 6, which is pretty good for you. Field goal percentage. You came in behind Rui Hachimura. You came in behind DeAndre Ayton. You came in behind Austin Reeves. You came in behind Jackson Hayes. You barely beat Luke Kennard. There is a reason you had a negative 17, which is by far the worst on the team. Ladies and gentlemen, LeBron James is the reason that the Lakers were swept. And I'm going to prove it. I'm going to prove it play by play. I mean, the stat line I just read you is bad. I mean, that's a bad start for him. But I didn't even talk about the 4 turnovers. And we need to talk about the 4 turnovers because they usually turn into points for the other team while also taking away points for the Lakers. It's very costly. But it's even worse than that. The points that LeBron James did get that night, well, a lot of times they come at the expense of the other team already having just scored because he wasn't at the other end to help the team. He leaves them in a 4-on-5 and just sits at the other end waiting for the ball to come down. So when LeBron James gets a dunk like that and adds 2 points, you almost have to subtract it because the other team got 2 points at the other end because he wasn't playing defense. That's not a turnover point turnaround, yet it's still a point turnaround. LeBron James took a play off. The other team scored. LeBron James gets the score. And amazingly, adding to all of this is that the Thunder still didn't play very well. In fact, there were several times that LeBron James didn't get back on defense, and it should have added to my evidence of how many times the other team scores because LeBron James isn't playing defense. And the Thunder would just blow it. They should have scored, and they didn't. So they would dodge some bullets. In the end, it didn't matter because LeBron James just kept messing up.